Let me start recording. Welcome guys to one more tutorial, one more database tutorial video. I really hope that you guys are doing well. There has been quite a bit of technical difficulties happening from yesterday where the electricity was gone, as well as this morning. I don't know what the laptop is up to, I don't know what the Wi-Fi is up to, but you know what, I crumple and I cancel it in the name of the Lord. And it's just all about working forward and doing what we can do in order to really get ahead and stay ahead. I'm so proud of all of you thus far based on the work you've been doing on all your courses. I'm so proud of you guys. It's imperative that you do watch this video. I'm going to go ahead also and further along, I'll put a link in the description below regarding a few upcoming things. One, if you guys do quantitative methods, there will be a marathon tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow evening rather, at like 7-8 p.m. I really want to see you guys succeed in that course. It's really a rocker. Therefore, I will definitely be doing a tutorial for that course tomorrow, or a marathon rather, for the mid-semester tomorrow at 7 or 8 p.m. I'll definitely confirm the time in our group. Should you know anyone who does that course, please feel free to go ahead and let them know that, hey, marathon is happening tomorrow at 8 or 7. I'll confirm the time based on what happens today. Additionally, guys, as you can see on the screen, Lyrics to Empower presents Challenge Accepted. I'm so excited about this new project. The last time I did a project like this, I believe it was last year. 2020, actually in April. So I really am so passionate about motivating others, about speaking to others, about really harvesting the true them, harvesting the queen and the king that is truly within. And so with that being said, I really just want to kick it up back. With that being said, also in the same breath, let me add that I'm going to be having this talk, this empowerment talk. Lyrics to Empower, that's my name on Instagram. Not very active there, but I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm learning. I really want to have this Instagram live on the 13th of November, which is after our mid-semester and after a lot of our submissions of our projects, etc. I'm so excited about this because what challenges are you going to be accepting? What kind of challenges are you going to be accepting in order to smash your goals? You know what I mean? How best can you achieve all of these goals? What are the systems that you're going to be implementing and putting in place to achieve these goals? And so a lot of stuff, in this regard will be delved into and looked at strategically in this motivational session called Challenge Accepted. I really hope that I could see you all there, and you could get a piece of advice and knowledge and broaden your scope as to, hey, the journey that you're on and where you're going. So without further ado, let me just go ahead and wish you guys all the very best on the rest of your mid-semesters and get right into it. So we're dealing with access. The last part we had stopped was at the rate table. However, what we're going to be doing is, some of us do not necessarily understand how to transition, for example, from plan to rate to usage. And so that's what we're going to be looking at today. The transition from plan to rate to usage. How is it that we transition from these things? What do we do? How do we do it? And what does it mean when we do these things? Also, we're going to be delving in a little bit, of course, following the instructions as to, where do we do, how do we do it? Where do we go from here? Stuff like that. So that's going to be very important for us to look at moving forward. So I'm going to just start with the transitioning phases right now, and then we'll walk it through. Okay, I'm going to share the screen right now with what I'm seeing. Give me a small second. Okay, here we go. So let me just do a new share with you so you can see what's happening. Okay, wonderful. So here we are, guys. The last one we did was rate, and it's supposed to be looking something like this for you, for your rate. This is the datasheet view. Again, this is a view that we've already built or structure. And so when we take our zoom down, this is what we see, a big, beautiful structure, so to speak, with our titles, rate ID, rate description, plan description, peak, off peak, etc. There's also the the design view rather, which is the behind the scenes kind of work. What do we do behind the scenes? What does each field mean? What does each record mean? What does our data type? What's the data type we employed, or description? Stuff like that. We really get into that behind the scenes in the datasheet view. So how is it that our next table now is supposed to be your usage table? And now I'm going to ask that everyone go ahead and go into the truncated version of your tutorial sheet and your spreadsheet, that little version that we worked with for the tutorial, for the spreadsheet tutorial rather. Just go ahead into that, and you can go ahead and scroll down to page 119. There will have some instructions relating to the table usage and what is it that we need to do for there. Key to note also for that section, we will definitely need to draw upon our file that we had downloaded from OUR VLE, and we'll be able to rock it through from there. With that being said, without further ado, let me just show you guys how to close this and open a new one. Okay, so closing, or looking forward to open a new table, what do we do? In closing and saving, we have to close it like this. So in order to open a new one, it's best to close before we go to create. Okay, best to do that. So we go here to close, and then on yours, if it's not saved, it will say something like you have to save it, or something like, do you want to save it? So you're going to hit yes. Okay, and then we're going to go here to create. Remember, we spoke initially or earlier about the 4 different objects in the database. We spoke about our tables, or query, or form, and our reports. And into the create section, we have an option to create all of these. See, table, we have an option to create our query, we have an option to create our forms, and we also have an option to create our reports. Now we have another table to create, which is our usage table. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hit table here. When it is that we've hit table, what's going on? Hold on, what's going on? Nah. This is a mistake, guys. That has been one big mistake a while ago. Let me just go back some to see what is really and truly going on here, because I don't know what's happening. Give me a small second, please. What is going on? I'm not sure, but I'm trying to go back to show you what I had before. Oh, not macro design. I need to close this out, definitely. Okay, here we go, we're back. Whew, because I was like, hold up, what's going on? All right, so I'm going back. I'm going to delete this, and then I'm going back to show you what's happening. I have to close it first, and then I have to delete it. Good. So we were at rates. So we're going to close rates, and then we're going to create a new one. So create here, and then we go to table, click on that, and then here we are at a new table. Now, if we go down to page 119 rather, we will see here that on 119, we have an example of what we're supposed to be doing in regards to, as it relates to the usage table and what's supposed to be in the design view. If we look carefully, we can see where it says field, then data type, and also description. So automatically we know that, hey, this is the backend, you know what I mean? This is supposed to be your design view. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and click here, click here, view, and then go to design view. And then it asks us here, as you were supposed to see in plan and rate, the same thing, it asks us to name it. What do we want our table to be named? And according to the textbook's conventions, we're supposed to name it table underscore usage. When it is that we have done that, we're going to hit OK. And then boom, we're now on our design view sheet. When it is that we're here, we're going to go ahead and hit usage ID. I mean, the first field name is going to be usage ID. The data type for usage ID, according to our figure 17 on page 119, is our auto number. And then we're going to have the description, which is uniquely identifies each record and serves as a primary key, right? Serves as the primary key. All right, great. So the field size is going to be our long integer. Good. So our long integer is already there, thankfully. And then we don't have any requirements for the comment. We don't have any requirements. If you look down here, there's no requirement. So that's fine. There's no required. The next field is going to be our customer name. According to the table, it's cost name. And then in our data type for customer name, we had text. But again, we don't have text in our lineup. If you do have text in our lineup, please go ahead and select it. But in our lineup here, we have short text. So we'll select short text. And then we also have identifies the customer. Identifies the customer. And then the field size for this one is going to be 50. Instead of the 255, 50 for the short text. And then for required, we have to put yes right here. So is required? Yes. And then the next one, as you know, as you are following in your books, page 119, figure 17 is going to be the date. And then for the data type, it's supposed to be date or time. So here we go, date or time. And then short date format, right? So identifies the date of the call, uses the short, hold this right now, uses the short date format. And then for the required, it is required. Great. So then we are going to be moving on to the package ID. Let me just make sure that we have everything. Everything is correct. Everything is in its correct order. Everything is quite fine. Just making sure that everything is good before we move on. Okay, great. So here, where it says the date and time here, the format here, we're going to hit format before we move on. Format is going to be the short date. So we have to hit format there, down here, and then short date, which is here. And then required, make it required, and then we'll be good to go. Good. Afterwards, we're going to hit package ID. And then description box identifies the customer's plan, uses the lookup wizard. So here, package ID. Here it's supposed to be according to our figure, number, and then plan uses the lookup wizard. So identifies the customer's plan, uses the lookup wizard. There we go. And then for the field size, we're going to have byte here for our field size. And please remember, please note that it says use the lookup wizard. Therefore, we have to go over into lookup. So what are they expecting from us? If we scroll down a bit, down to page, it brings us here to page 122. We'll see here it says use the lookup wizard display the Chatterlock mobile plan in a combo box. So here we're supposed to go ahead here and hit combo box instead of text box. We find here combo box and select it, right? So just take your time and go through, guys. Take your time and go through. Ensure that you look carefully in a description and see, does this use a lookup wizard? What kind of format does this use? What's the formatting? And so you kind of customize your thing as much as possible as you go along to really stay in sync, with the textbook. With that being said, so our requirements also, let's go back to general to make sure that our requirements here is yes. So required has to be yes for this one. That's for product ID. Okay. So it's just important to just really mull over, eye over, the basics or the general things to ensure that you're on the correct path. Yeah. So let's go now on page 122. I'm reading. It says in the package ID field data type column, click the drop down arrow and select lookup wizard. So here it says go ahead, even though it said number earlier in the package ID data type, click the lookup wizard. Here we go. And then it says, make sure I want the lookup column to be, okay, guys. So it says in the package ID field, that's number 26 on page 122, click the drop-down arrow and select Lookup Wizard. The Lookup Wizard dialog box appears, and it says make sure, so it's appearing on mine, apparently. I'm not sure what's loading on mine. I hope that it's appearing. But it says make sure that I want the lookup column to look up. The lookup values in a table or column option is selected. And then we're going to select the next button. But this is when we have imported it. So mine is loading up a bit. Give me a second, please. So it's still supposed to go ahead and be number. Just make sure I'm on the correct path here. Yep, usage table, that's supposed to be number. What's going on? Give me a second, guys. I'm not sure why it's not responding. So I'm just waiting on it to load up. All right, here we go. There it is. So once we've hit Lookup Wizard there, we're supposed to click here and go here. So I want, as the instruction said on page 122, number 26, I want the lookup field to get the values from another table or query. So here we go. And then we go next. When it is that we've hit next, we're going to hit table plan. Instead of usage, we're going to hit table plan. Give me a second, guys. Let me just make sure that I'm on the correct path here, because I don't want to mislead us, okay? Definitely. So we're going to be highlighting table plan. And then we're going to be, in the subsequent dialog box, select package ID. So we're going next here. And then we're going package key here. Keep keen attention, guys, and then press it again for package description to go over. And then we're going next. And then we're going next again because it's supposed to still be in ascending order. That's correct. So we're going next again. According to our, you can look at the diagrams as well. Then we're going to go uncheck here. We have to uncheck this hide key column. Okay. And then we'll see that the package ID and its corresponding package description will be shown. Then we're going next again. And then here, when this comes up here, we're going to be hitting, give me a minute, give me a moment. We're going to be hitting next. We're also going to be enabling data integrity from this part here. So what's going to happen, guys, is that we're going to be seeing how it is that we do each section, how it is that we carry out each part, how is it that we execute each of them. So that's you see all of that. Then the table must be saved before relationship can be created. So we have to go ahead and save this here. Oh my Lord, guys, the number is still there. However, because we had just did the Lookup Wizard and we had went through all the steps, just ensure that in the YouTube video that you're watching here and now, that you just go back through the steps, pause it, slow it down, pause it, kind of, rewind, fast forward, however you'd like. Because guys, that's just, can you imagine if that's only for one lookup in Lookup Wizard for the data type? Can you imagine when we're ready to import the thing now, what's gonna happen? Not true. So that's just how it is that the Lookup Wizard is customized, especially for this. I believe the reason why is because this table is going to be highly related. Again, relationships comes into play, highly related to our table plan, or the one that is also associated, or the one that is reflected in the one that we had downloaded from OURBLE. All right, so we're going to continue, guys. Oh my gosh, that was a mouthful. We're going to continue now and go back to our table. Well, I'm going back to the table on page 119. And I'm seeing here it says rate ID. So we have to do the same thing that we did for package ID, for rate ID, because we'll also be required to use the lookup wizard rather for this one. But let me just go to describe it first before I come back to the rate ID, to the data type. All right, so we're going ahead, and it says here that it indicates a type of call made by the customer, and it uses the lookup wizard. So indicate the type of call. Here we go. used by the customer. And it also uses the Lookup Wizard. Thereafter, we're going to go ahead now, and then we're going to go ahead into our Lookup Wizard. But before though, let's ensure that we have the correct field size. So our field size here is supposed to be byte and not 255, but byte. Okay, this is because it's in, okay, I understand. Okay, we have to put a number back because it's in short text. So if I go back here, I'll be able to change it, number, and then you have to put byte here. Okay, and then we have to make it required as well. It is required. So here we're going to hit yes for this, is required, and then we'll go ahead into our Lookup Wizard now. I believe it's going to still be the combo box as well. Let me just double check to make sure that it's still the combo box instead of the text box. Let me just make sure that I'm on the same path, same path. Yeah, because I don't want it to be a bit different. I'm not seeing a box necessarily for the rate ID one. Not seeing a box, still not seeing a box here. Let me see, let me just make sure. So I'm not seeing a combo box here, but I do believe I want to put the combo box there because it's a Lookup Wizard. Okay, so I'm going to put my combo box there. I'm also going to go back in here, and then I'm also going to go to Lookup Wizard down here. When it says that I go there, I'm going to hit next again, and then remember we had used the plan, use the we're going to use the rate for this one. So rate for this one, and we're going to here next. Then we're going to hit rate ID. Rate ID, then rate description, and then we're going to hit next again. Here we go. And then we're going to hit next again. And then from there, we're gonna go ahead and uncheck this. Same like what we did in the package one, we're doing the same thing for the rate one. So we're going to uncheck that box where it says rate ID corresponds with its rate description. And then we're going to go again and press next. And then here we're going to enable the data integrity, and then we're going to finish. Okay, so here we go, boom. And we have to ensure that we save it in order for the relationship to be created. There we go, and we hit yes again. Do we want to replace the changes? No problem. All right, guys, so there we go. The next one we have, according to our table on page 122, is, let me go right back up, is peak. And as we know that peak is referring to the time in which the call was made. So in peak, in our data type, it's going to be your yes or no. In our description for peak, we're going to have identify the time of day the call originated. And then we're going to have no. So in quotations, we're going to have no here indicates that the call was made during off-peak hours, right? Indicates that the call was made during off-peak hours. And then set the default to yes, right? So that's what we have to, that's an instruction that we have to follow, right? Set the default so yes in quotations. There we go. So with that being said, now we're going back to general here because we're in lookup for the last time for mine. Yes, no, good. Default value has to be a yes right here. Let's go back and let's just type yes. There we go. Set the default to yes, and then we're gone, clear. We just ensure that we're on the correct path, we're doing the right thing. Just ensure that everybody is good to go and we're good. Everything is all right. Good. So we've entered yes. All right, great. Great. Wonderful. So then afterwards, we're going to have, hold on, let me just make sure that I'm on the correct path with you guys. I don't want to rush. Okay, great. The description of the duration field, good. Okay, the next we're going to have is duration. For the final part, which is here, duration, which is going to be the data type for this. The data type for this is going to be number. So instead of short text, we're going to have number for this one. And then the description is as follows: indicate the length of the mobile call in minutes. So indicates the length of the mobile call in minutes. And it says also, when a text message is sent, the duration is left blank. So when a text message is sent, the duration is left blank. All right. Great. So the field size is going to be integer, not long integer now, but integer right here. And then there's not necessarily a requirement for it. Yes or no, not necessarily. Okay, guys. So here we have our plan going on. We have our rate going on. We're just doing a little review so far, thus far, so to speak. Let me go ahead here and look at the import details. Give me 1 second, please. All right, guys. So we're going to, before we had, populated the usage in terms of the design view, that's fine what we did thus far. But we're going to just illustrate how it is that we had imported the data from what we have downloaded from OURVLE to come over, all right, into our database. That's what I want to say. So here we have import and link. So what we're going to do is we're going to new data source here. We're going to import a new data source, okay? So when we hit that, we're going to hit from file, and it's going to be from our Excel file, right? Because, the one data sheet that you had downloaded from OURVLE is an Excel file, okay? So we're going to hit browse here, and then I'm going to just go through to find it. It's supposed to be Excel spreadsheet. It's supposed to be database on tutorial underscore chat a lot. So here it says somewhere, where is it? What's going on here? Okay, so it's not here. Give me a second, guys. Let me check my downloads to see if I can find it there. All right, here we go. Come on now, where are you? So I'm not seeing it here, but you're supposed to be seeing it, guys, since you know it's a case where you downloaded it from OURVLE. I'm not sure why am I not seeing it in my data, in my files here. What is going on here? Let me just continue to look. Should in case it pops up. I have book one, book 3. Why isn't it there? No, that's not it at all. All right, guys, let me just go ahead and see how best I could find it and then carry it over. Ensure also that here you have this one checked. Import the source data into new data table in the current database. Ensure that that one is checked. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now in the interim, in the pausing of this video, or in the interim until we start the new one, the new recording, I'm just going to go ahead and see how best I could find it back and then go ahead with the import section. So once you have that that usage design view already completed, that's fine, because once you see that you have already imported the data, you'll be fine. Once that you do import the data, you'll be fine. All right, guys, I just want to give a quick reminder, 2 things. Quantitative methods marathon tomorrow, as well as tomorrow evening, 7 or 8, as well as on November 13. Really, really excited for Challenge Accepted. I really hope to see you all there. I hope that, you know, everyone can benefit from this talk, this very riveting motivational session, as we seek to achieve all the goals that we have set out, and as we achieve to also cultivate the growth mindset, of course. I hope that you guys are doing wonderfully. I wish you and your family the very, very best, and we'll see you in the next recording. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this right now, and then I'll see you in the next recording. Oh, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell for new uploads, okay? All right, guys, have a wonderful day.